Hello everybody, we're back again in Planet Coaster. We are in Appalachian Adventure, and like I promised, we are in Handyman Hills, the next section of the park. This section of the park is called Handyman Hills, like I said, and it has a real Craftsman Valley from Dollywood kind of vibe, celebrating the American working spirit. That is the theme we're going for behind this, but we have a little bit of cleaning and housekeeping to do before we further expand this section of the park. As you can see, we're just tearing out a bunch of path work. This section of the park used to break off into two sections, one going this way up to the right, as you can see, alongside of the big B&M Dive Coaster Bigfoot, and we'll go over that in a second, along within the real-time overview. You can go ahead and skip to that. It will be time-stamped down below, like always. But we had to do some house cleaning and some housekeeping. We had to repath a little bit of it, and I wanted to get rid of that path running right up under the lift hill, mainly because it was just too cluttered. It made it a little bit too confusing, and this big open corner here, I really wanted something to work with to build kind of a square kind of end, or merchant's kind of square kind of deal. That'll all make an appearance in the real-time overview, because I'm shortening these time lapses up, and much like to kind of continue the theme from the last episode, Building the Bear, where we talked about the, what kind of narrative I want to bring to this channel, what kind of substance I want to bring to the content and the commentary. I realized if I just keep it shorter and sweeter for you guys, it will make all of our lives easier. I don't have to worry about, randomly pulling stuff out of my ass to talk about and stuff like that. So we're going to shorten the time lapses up, and we'll just make the real-time overviews more or less the substance of these videos. So that'll be beginning here shortly, but what we're doing right now is we're just terraforming around the coaster, editing the terrain a little bit, and just I want to make this a little bit more, when you're walking up on the coaster, and again, all stuff that will be gone over in the real-time overview, I want it to just kind of be back there behind Handyman Hills, serving as the backdrop for this section of the park. And you might be wondering, well, Handyman Hills, Craftsman Valley, that celebrating the American working spirit, what does that have to do with a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch? Literally nothing. But there's history of sightings of Bigfoot within the Appalachian region, particularly Boone, North Carolina, I believe. And it's been really cool to do my research and look this stuff up and figure out that all this lunacy and these crazy conspiracies and sightings and stuff have taken place more or less in my backyard. So I want there to be some continuity between what is being created in this project and, what is actual fact, I guess, in Appalachia. Not saying Bigfoot exists or advocating for conspiracies or anything like that, but
I'm kind of retarded.
Sightings of that, I think that carries over to the continuity of this park. So Bigfoot has been sighted in Virginia, and that is all you need to know about why I decided to go ahead and call this coaster Bigfoot. And it just kind of works. It's a big B&M Dive Coaster. We'll go over to statistics and everything like that in a final video when this is all completed, dolled up, and looking nice. But it kind of fits. And like I said about the time lapses, we just skipped over a bunch of stuff, and we are now working on the station for Bigfoot. And this is going to be very loosely themed. Like I said, it's basically just an idea that Sasquatch came through this building and tore it up. And it looks very dilapidated and stuff like that. Very big vibes like we had on the bear station and stuff that we went over in the last episode. So yeah, I'm happy with how this ends up turning out. Using some driftwood planks to make it look kind of tore up, using protruding angles and different angles and stuff, I guess. Just making it look, making it look tore up, boys. I'm happy with the finished product, though. It ends up looking really good. And if you've ever been to a Busch Gardens property, or you've been to Dollywood, the two main inspirations for this park, their coasters are not the most heavily themed, with the exception of a couple rides at Dollywood or Busch Gardens. But, a good example would be Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It's themed to a mythical griffin, but you never see a mythical creature or anything. This isn't the animal kingdom. We don't have a big animatronic Yeti. That doesn't work. But it's just kind of it's a vibe. This park is a vibe. It's not crazy, intricately themed or anything like that, but we will do that with a few attractions. I have a couple cool ideas for a haunted house kind of thing, and maybe an indoor multi-launch roller coaster. I'm not entirely sure, but something Verbolten-esque would be very heavily themed and stuff. But we're a little bit over 5 minutes, kind of the time frame I want to go for these time lapses and stuff. You guys are smart enough to kind of get the idea and the gist now. I don't need to make it a 15-20 minute thing and just ramble on about crap and then hate myself during the editing phase where I can tell, oh my god, you're drawing a blank there, you sound like an idiot. I beat myself up when I listen to these commentaries more than I should. Anyway, I will meet you guys over in the real-time overview. While we're waiting, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will be consistently uploading this kind of stuff just to kind of put it out there. But yeah, here we are rambling again. I will meet you guys over in the real-time overview. Okay, you guys, here we are in the real-time overview of Handyman Hills. There is a lot to go over, I guess. So let's start here at the front. Over here's the bear. We worked on all this in the last episode, just this kind of path right here. All this is completed. There's an emporium hidden beyond these trees, but I do have a video designated just for that build that will be out on Monday. But in the meantime, let's kind of talk about this right here. So we have Minetown right in here, not a whole lot to show for. This will have its own video going over all this and theming this, cleaning it up, making it look nice. We have a lot of water towers. This is a very hydrated park, you guys.
I jump on your bitch like water. I splash on your bitch with the water.
But Handyman Hills. So basically, you're gonna walk up under this train bridge right here. This will all get redone and dolled up and look very nice and rustic and Appalachia-ish, I guess. And we have this little restaurant. This looks just like a Cracker Barrel. That was intentional. I went to Cracker Barrel one night a couple weeks ago and had this open plot of land and just plopped it down, built this real quick. And yeah, I think we're just going to call it Da Barrel or something. Nothing too crazy. It's not crazy themed or intricate or immersive or anything like that. Let me go ahead and change the time so we can get a better view of this. Okay, so yeah, really nothing crazy right here. This is a full functioning restaurant. We do have the steps to get you up onto the patio, I guess. There is a restaurant building in there, but yeah, I mean, this was really kind of a testing ground for what kind of feel and overall, I'm gonna say it again, vibe I wanted the park to go for, using these wooden barrels and these rocking chairs and stuff as scenery pieces that would, in real life, have a functional purpose and stuff, but in game they don't. You just place them on stationary and you are good to go. You have some wooden themed seating. So yeah, much like every other big building in the park, it does have a fully functional backstage area, and this goes and wraps around to behind the Sky Coaster. Random cell phone tower. You do see these in real parks, and I just thought this was a nice little piece we could put in. This is from the Steam Workshop. Go ahead and give credit where credit is due. So Hardpunk Corey, or Core, I guess, is the creator of this. Beautiful piece, worked beautifully back here because this was a pretty large backstage area and we needed to fill some space. And, not too invasive, but it's a little something we can put in there. Now, let's talk about this humongous Sky Coaster. The Sky Coaster itself is from the Steam Workshop, and that was created by Tim305's workshop. So maybe this is a King's Dominion guy, and he got inspired to build this by looking at the Sky Coaster at King's Dominion Extreme Skyflyer, which I actually worked on this summer. That was my summer gig, hooking people up to the Sky Coaster. I love Sky Coasters. I think they're underrated attractions. I personally loved my time working on one, learning all the ins and outs and how it works. And, first flight in the morning was always a massive perk, and when the park was dead, we would just jump on and go flying and stunt and stuff. But it's against the rules. I don't advocate for that whatsoever. So, yes, the New River Redneck Skydiving Spectacular. It is just called Sky Coaster, but I thought that'd be kind of a fun little, nod to the New River Valley, a region within Appalachia, where I actually spent a little bit of time at school, and maybe moving back out there, but that's a little bit further down the road. We have to finish college at some point, you guys. Anyway, so yeah, the Sky Coaster, this is actually probably one of the first pieces we placed down in the park, and it's just kind of tucked back here, but it added a cool little thing to the skyline, and you know, I just like Sky Coasters. So we went ahead and filled in some of this stuff based off of what I knew, kind of operating one, I guess. There, you had to have access from the stage where you get loaded up. There's a technical name for it, but I'm drawing a blank right now. And to the back part where they catch you with the sky hook and slow you down and all that stuff. Used some TMTK pieces right here, the pavilions. These were created by Crapsoons83, I guess that's how you pronounce it. These are his Theme Maker Toolkit 10 pavilions, and they worked out beautifully for, you know, this little extra area of the park, of the ride. You wanted, one thing we always wanted was more shade when we were when we were working on the Sky Coaster at King's Dominion, and you know, I figured I'd put it in here and give the people what they want, what we never got. So yeah, the New River Redneck Skydiving Spectacular built a custom little booth for tickets and stuff right here. Single would be $8, double 16, triple 20. You save money as you go up with the amount of people to boost those ridership numbers up. That was the same case for us, and we hated it every day when home office would put out a discounted flight sign in front of Skyflyer, because it means we actually had to do work. You know, Skyflyer operators aren't like the rest of, you know, ride operators in the industry. We had a lot of free time. Anyway, that is the Sky Coaster. You got the flight suit building right here, loading station where we suit you up, give you your spiel, and then we send you back here and you wait for your flight. So yeah, just added a bunch of little details here and there to make the whole kind of process realistic. But I really do like the location of this. I think it works out pretty well. And again, we will jump in Tegid Cam and I'll give you cool views of all this stuff. But yeah, we just had to make sure we didn't have any like crazy trees right here that would block the path of the flyer, because you come from the top of this tower, 151 feet to be exact, if this is the King's Dominion model, and you fly down and across, and we had to make sure we had an open path for you to fly. That tree right there, fuck it, it stays. But yeah, so this is Handyman Hills. Over here on the left, we will have a bunch of buildings. There used to be a big kind of building restaurant thing right here called the Canteen, but we went ahead and nixed that. Built this little church. You guys are going to think I'm lazy, but I'm putting my own little twist on things. We do have to work on this a little bit. I want to, you know, kind of edit this bell tower and make this cross out of different pieces, but this is a real Dollywood vibe. Let's see who gave us this. Sue Moggs. This would be Sue Moggs' creation. I think that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, it originally had kind of a creepier little vibe, and that was not what we're going for. We're going for a church, much like you would see at Dollywood. Go in and clean it up a little bit, and maybe an aviary back here, kind of bird sanctuary like what you would see at Dollywood and Busch Gardens. Again, the two main parks I'm referencing for this project. But yeah, so got some buildings right here. There's really nothing in these because the terrain was very weird to work with, so we had to kind of make do. But these are just some filler buildings, nothing crazy themed or whatever. Gotta go in and add little details, you know, ropes and stuff like that. Just the grind of the American working spirit, you know, a lot of tools and everything like that. But you guys kind of get it. So here's what we were talking about during the time lapse. We went ahead and rerouted all of this. It used to run straight back under the lift to this section back here, Blue Ridge Bicentennial, but we'll go over that later on along with that oh so sick RMC. But 2 RMCs in one park, how lucky are these guys? So yeah, went ahead and started building this building right here. I'm sorry I didn't get as much done as I wanted to kind of complete this, but we'll do another episode where we just wrap this entire section of the park up and everything. So yeah, there'll be kind of a marketplace with stands and stuff in here, and it just kind of, you know, if you're walking up here, I think now would actually be a good time to jump into Tegid Cam and we can talk about this further. Okay, so here we are in Tegid Cam looking up Handyman Hills, and you know, hills because we utilized a lot of terrain right here, like I said we wanted to do. But as you're walking up past here, these very empty buildings that do in fact need work, it will get done. You would enter Bigfoot right here, Bigfoot Mountain Expedition Company, the entrance right in here, and the exit. You would buy your on-ride photos and everything in here. But yeah, this, I didn't want some big crazy, you know, plaza or anything kind of, you know, I wanted it to really kind of blend in with the facades and the buildings and everything. So Bigfoot Mountain Expedition Company is the running theme for this, I guess. And you can see the station up there. We will get up there in a second. But as you're walking up this hill, you'll see these buildings, and you clearly cannot walk straight through buildings. You would have to go right, obviously, and that kind of directs the flow of traffic. What's really cool, though, is some of the perspectives you get on this path. You walk right up under this gigantic Immelman loop, and you get to walk right on over the first drop right here. And I think that just looks really freaking cool. I don't know, I'm stoked with how this is all turning out and everything. More skylines back here. This fence kind of indicates where I wanted to stop, because if I didn't put it down, I would be building all up in here, but all this is very incomplete. This will be more Handyman Hills, but it's gonna look cool. This is probably where I'm gonna bring in my buddy Greg, who's a big theme park guy, and he'll do some work for me in there, because I think Dollywood's his home park, so he'll have a better sense of theming and stuff than I would. But yeah, get some cool views right here. There's the Minetown Mothman, the aero suspended coaster. We will be working on that in a little bit. But yeah, you just walk right up under this gigantic Immelman, and you have this crazy surrounding of a big old B&M Dive Coaster. So yeah, we'll jump out of Tegid Cam real quick, go over this coaster and stuff. Here is the station that we've been working on. It's coming together. It's looking good. I want it to be a little bit more open-aired and stuff like you would see in most B&M Dive Coaster stations. Go and get rid of the user interface. But yeah, I mean, it's turning out okay. It's looking good. We're getting there. Go ahead and put some fans and stuff and everything in there. Right here is where the queue will be. Bunch of cattle pins, cutbacks, whatever you want to call it. We'll theme this up, doll it up, make it look nice, and probably have some seating and stuff in here. Big old barn, probably going to be a gift shop or information center or combination of the two. And a Trios spin, I think they're called, in-game. Tri-Storm, sorry. Just a little flat ride to kind of fill up some space. And yeah, so let's talk about this coaster real quick. So the B&M Dive Coaster Bigfoot. I went ahead and did some custom support work on the lift and the drop and the mid-course, and I need to do some on this Immelman, but that'll all get done in due time, and went ahead and did some right here. Now, I had people comment on the subreddit when I would post pictures of this, kind of teasing it or whatever, about this big old spine. And if you know roller coasters and B&M with their dive coasters, they do have usually bigger track, and all the B&M track in this game is the same size. So, I mean, I'm working with it, I'm running with it, it's cool, it looks good, but I wanted to add this big kind of spine like you would see on the Giga coasters like Fury 325, Leviathan, Orion and stuff at Kings Island opening in the spring. And I wanted to just kind of implement that idea that there's a big spine on the lift and the drop that is weight bearing and stuff. So that's how you kind of would theoretically get away with this support right here. Now, granted, the angles are not perfect. There is no actual weight distribution or kind of calculations that go into this. I'm just having my fun designing my roller coasters, but in theory, this would be a weight-bearing support along the drop and stuff. You get the idea. And we got kind of sparse on the supports because if you look at real B&M dive coasters, again, there are not a whole lot of supports holding up the newer models. Look at Valraven at Cedar Point for a great example. That's kind of what acted as the big inspiration for this single kind of support right here along the turn. But yeah, I think it turned out great. I think it looks great. You can agree or disagree. I have no effect or influence on your opinions, but if you do have some, or you think some things could be changed or look different, please comment down below and let me know. I would love to. This is going to be your guys' park here in a little bit, at least phase 1, and when it's complete, it'll be everybody's, completed park or whatever. So I want it to look good, and I want to have you guys, something realistic and fun and cool to look at and mess around with and everything. So, yeah, we got this transfer track right here. We'll build a pretty simple transfer shed. Let's go look at some statistics real quick. So, we are looking at a drop of 227 feet into the ravine. Max height, how high is this off of the, let's see. So, off sea level, we are looking at 228 feet. Off the terrain, we are looking at 191 feet, but this would be the reference point, I guess, for the terrain. So it's a fairly large dive coaster, nothing humongous or record-breaking or anything, but it looks good. So, yeah, you hit the Immelman overbank. It's not the normal kind of Immelman overbank into a mid-course under the drop or the lift hill. I wanted to add this kind of valley and draw it out, make it a little bit like a hyper coaster, I guess. Hit the mid-course, second Immelman, only 2 inversions, and down into some terrain-hugging goodness, some airtime moments, I guess. When this thing runs, it looks beautiful. But like I said, I'll probably put together a point of view and some cinematic shots of this thing and make a final video for that. But in the meantime, I guess this is what you guys get. I do apologize, but it looks good. It looks cool. It's going to be great, and I'm just excited to get more work done. So, yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this episode. I really have been having a good time over the past week or so editing these videos, commentating, and building for you guys. So I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. Go ahead and share the love back. Drop a like, drop a comment, any sort of interaction, engagement, share the video. It helps out the channel immensely, and that'll just be really cool to get more people on board with this and kind of have a nerdy Planet Coaster theme park party going on. But, yeah. I'm out of here. I got some stuff to do today, and I got some more videos to edit tonight for you guys. But, yeah, we're here, and we're here to stay, and it's going to be fun. Thank you for checking out Handyman Hills. Go check out the other videos in the Appalachian Adventure series while you're at it. And I will see you guys on Monday with a brand new video. All right. Have a good night, good day, good whenever, wherever. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Just know that you're beautiful, and I love you, and I will see you on Monday. All right. Ciao, you guys.